This video marks my 300th YouTube video, so I thought we should do something special for it. So today I'm breaking down the most important things that I've learned doing this. Being a part-time content creator, earning 6 figures on this platform as a relatively small creator, breaking down the lessons and tricks that I have learned over the 3 years that I have been doing this, so let's jump right into it. I'm Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I promise practical advice to build your brand. This is my 300th video. Let's talk all about what I have learned on YouTube so that you can learn it too faster. In fact, I just finished up a post about this on Instagram. I'll link to this in the description below if you're interested. Let's talk about where you should start with YouTube. Arguably my best advice, I'll begin with it, or lesson in this case, is this: plan to post for a decade. Let me explain. On screen here, you'll see me in just a moment. This is when I actually started YouTube, which was not even for my own channel. This was, I'm telling you, back in the day, at least 10 years ago, when I was an expert for eHow, a very popular website back in the day when they would have experts give 2-camera videos just like this. They would give me the topics, and then I could answer it in any question that I wanted. And for me, wow, questionable haircut. For me, this was a great way to get my name out there and start to build some thought leadership. But the thing with YouTube is you can't be in it for quick wins, okay? So jump to then 6 or 7 years later, this was one of my first YouTube videos when I committed to posting on my own channel, okay? And it actually looks pretty decent, all things considered. Getting back into the game, I felt rusty, I felt vulnerable, I really felt self-conscious, but for me, this was something that I really enjoyed teaching. I like this format of creating videos and using this method to teach people how to do things. So for me, you know, and for you can't be in it for the quick win. It took a lot of videos before this one I posted, I think was maybe my 40th, roughly my 40th YouTube video, which now has over 500,000 views. It's my most viewed YouTube video. More important than views, it has sent a ton of traffic to some of my affiliate links that have earned a decent amount of money on the side. But that's never my number one intention or focus on YouTube. It's always been, you know, how can creating content for me be something that I do that benefits me, gives me time in my calendar to research. You know, I'm not in it for a quick win, or this would never work. You have to really want to do this for a decade, let's say. So beyond, you know, just posting and doing it for the sake of doing it, what is in it for you? It took me about 1.5 years of posting twice a week to start really, you know, this thing lifting off, and it took me almost 2 years to get my first brand deal. Now 6 figures, but certainly everything has to start somewhere. And one more point to make on this, where I want to give an example that is not just me. This is my client, Jessica Vallant Pilates, okay? And on the surface, it's like, wow, over 600,000 subscribers, over 400 videos. Guess what? This is the result, and Jessica will be the first to tell you, this is a result of hard work and consistent work. She's been posting 1 to 2 videos per week for over a decade, okay? And so listen, some videos will flop, some videos that you might not even like might take off. Jessica and I have had this conversation. It's absolutely incredible. But really, with YouTube, it's the cumulative effect of showing up consistently every single week. You learning what people respond to over time. That's the other thing with YouTube. It's, you know, your content doesn't die 1 or 2 days after you post it, or even 1 week after you post it. There are videos of mine that have continued to do and perform exceptionally well, sometimes 1 year or 2 after I posted. Jessica is an example of how you can reap the benefit of cumulatively, right, posting consistently on YouTube. I'll link to her channel in the description below. So start your YouTube with a long-term vision in mind. Next, have something beyond YouTube to incentivize people to engage with your brand, like a freebie. The vast majority of my email newsletters are a direct result of posting on YouTube. Back on this video as a really good example of integrating a freebie or a lead magnet, which is often called, is in this video. So within the first 40 seconds, I promote one of my freebies. I did so fairly innocently and naively back in the day. This single YouTube video, I'd say maybe in combination with a few others, but the majority have come from this single YouTube video with this single link. This has sent this freebie right here, which you can sign up for on my website, I'll link to it in the description below, has sent almost 25,000 subscribers to my email. So that's an example of one video picking up, you know, traction, and that video in particular at one point was sending over 100 email subscribers a day to my list. It's since cooled down a little bit, and that's just, an example of the power that YouTube, for example, as a conduit, as a search engine, as a referrer of traffic, it's so much more than just a view on a video. This can really actually grow your business, help you sell your products and your services. And so one thing you might want to do is head over to a platform like Pinterest, type in your keyword. So I'll use personal branding for this example. Let's type that. Before we click enter, have a look at some of the suggestions that Pinterest is giving you. You can do this in Google, or you can even do this on YouTube as well. I tend to like Pinterest because it's so visual. So for example, personal branding logo design is definitely up my alley. We can click that. We can have a look at some of the results above the fold, as we would say, okay? So before we start scrolling all the way down, have a look at the results here for content ideas. Some examples of branding, some examples of, ways of organizing, like a brand board, we would call it. This should give you lots of ideas. How to make your brand tell your story, right? There's so many ideas for content here that would be great for videos. And that's just a matter of literally typing in your keyword and then having a look at some of the suggestions. There are lots of them here that might be the basis for a great video. The other thing I want to say is that you're getting the highlight reel. So I'm talking about the freebie that has grown my list the fastest, but keep in mind, I didn't hit a home run with my other freebies. I have actually almost 10, which is probably overkill. This is something I experiment with for my own audience and brand before I give advice to a client. Not all of these, I think if they're on this page, they've had at least 1,000 people sign up for them. But truthfully, it really took a few tries before I figured out, okay, exactly what it was that resonated with people at that scale. So get excited about the way that YouTube can actually, help you grow in more ways than just views. Freebies, for example. I never expected that freebie to perform so well, but I'm certainly grateful that it has. Next, let's talk about editing. That is something I do not do myself. I don't edit. I don't design my thumbnails. I hire someone to film my videos. I hire someone to even post my videos, and I'm going to explain why. Let me show you what done looks like from my standpoint of being the creator and I guess host of these videos. You're looking at this script that I used to film and record literally this video. And I use an editor obviously to help, execute on these projects. But for me, it's also helpful having a second set of eyes, someone else that can watch through the content, ask questions, or make certain points or suggestions that will make the video better. All the 2-camera portions like this are scripted word for word. That's helpful for me. But then screen records like this one, I am literally recording this one right here. So you can, I'm revealing all the secrets today. This I don't do with a script, but I do with bullet points. And so for me, I figured out this flow, this workflow that makes it possible for me to deliver videos efficiently, but also rely on a team to design a thumbnail, to optimize the video for posting. So I might come up with a video title, but someone on my team, his name is Nauman, he'll come up with a better title for me that's optimized with SEO in mind, including the description. My video editor, Javier and Nafis, is editing this video. They're so awesome to be able to offer that additional perspective, to just make this video even better. So I recommend, as you can see in my script, if you can afford it, an editor is absolutely worth the investment. That means you can focus on creating. And for me, posting 2 videos a week, it's a little bit like being able to play the lottery twice instead of once a week. And for me to be able to keep up that pace and cadence, I have to have help delegated to be able to pull that off. An editor means a second set of eyes in addition to obviously delivering on that edit, and I value that so much. Next, let's talk about when to post and how seriously you need to take this. So if I scroll all the way back to the top on this document, you will see that I post YouTube videos consistently every single week, in many cases twice a week. Right now I have too many projects on the go, but I'm committing to at least once a week. But the majority of the last 3 years, I've actually posted twice a week, which I know is kind of crazy. You might hear that and go, oh my God, how do you keep up with that? For me, it's all about systems. I mentioned delegation already. I certainly have a flow and a process, and I stick to what I know well. You'll see here though, I think so much of this is being rewarded for showing up consistently. I think YouTube's algorithm values consistency, right? When you choose whatever day you want to post, for me, it's Wednesdays. And if I do twice a week, it'll be Saturday as my second day. You need to just decide and you need to stick with it. It's like working out. You can't work out once a month and expect big results. You need to keep showing up, and it needs to be something you prioritize because it's important to you. And YouTube is certainly very important to me. Not so much in just, obviously growing my audience and teaching people, but also in the time that it takes that I can schedule to learn and to get a grasp on material so that I can share it with you, right? So it's very important that you show up consistently. Choose a day and stick with it. Let's now also talk about thumbnails. When I go over to my channel at the time of recording this video and I filter by videos, certainly here I break all kinds of rules when it comes to my own brand. There's colors here, there's fonts here that aren't necessarily, tip-top style according to my brand colors, which tend to be more muted. We use thumbnails as a way to experiment with videos. Obviously, I want them all to be related to whatever it is I'm talking about, but we experiment. Sometimes I'm not in the thumbnail at all. Sometimes I'm, doing the surprised expression that you see often on YouTube. I try to vary and experiment to learn what people respond to and what people might click. While I love branding, I am the first to break the rules of my own branding to be able to create something that stands out. So I'm giving you permission to break those rules as well. Thumbnails are something I'm always trying to improve, a work in progress, in an area that I'm constantly trying to push to see what sticks. And I want to wrap this video with what I might consider to be the most rewarding part of creating content on YouTube, and it's not money. Using content to fuel your curiosity. I'll explain what I mean by this. We'll actually select my oldest videos. There are some oldies here. Back when I started 3 years ago, posting consistently on YouTube, all I talked about was branding. That was what I knew, and that was what I was willing to talk about. And then, of course, some social media stuff. But when I look back at the earlier days of showing up weekly, I realized that I started to actually adjust the content that I was sharing to be things that I wanted to learn more about. So in most cases, things that I knew something about, but also things that I wanted to learn so that I could actually put into my schedule time to learn it and be able to share that with you. I have used YouTube to fuel my curiosity on things and really experiment with things like, beyond branding, like apartment tours or real estate or social media, Clubhouse, that's a thing of the past, brand deals. There's so many different topics that I've tackled here, and in doing so, in making a YouTube video on these topics, it's given me the opportunity to actually learn about that topic. Otherwise, I wouldn't make time to do it because I'm busy. Right around this time, I started to do brand deals and started to experiment with that as a way to make passive income. This is like a little trip down memory lane, and it's a lot of fun to kind of look and see where I was, where I'm at now, and where I hope to be moving forward. I've worked with, in 3 years, over 75, now over 80 brands, actually. A lot of AI tools, and that's certainly something that I'll be hugely focused on in the next few months even. And so let YouTube fuel your curiosity. If making videos gives you the excuse to put on your calendar time to create and research and think and learn and share, then do it. There you go. Those are the lessons. Do any of these resonate? Let me know in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. Respond to those personally. I've linked to some of the useful stuff that I have covered today, links and such in the description, so check those out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which we work hard to create for you, 300 of them. And subscribe for more of my videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Next, I'm sharing a few videos I think you'll be interested in. I'm Phil Pallen. Thanks for watching this and others. And those videos that I mentioned, they're coming up next.